A wave of patriotism is sweeping Canada as millions boycott travel to the U.S. in response to Trump's aggressive tariffs. Flights, accommodations, and major tourist destinations are feeling the impact. With Canadian pride at an all-time high, this movement could cost the U.S. billions and reshape North American tourism. So what happens next? Let's dive in. The spark that lit the fire. The controversy began when President Trump announced a 25% tariff on most Canadian goods, with oil, gas, and electricity facing a 10% tax. This was part of a broader trade dispute with Canada, Mexico, and China. Initially set to take effect on February 4, 2025, the tariffs were paused for 30 days after last-minute negotiations between Trump and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Tensions escalated when Trump made provocative remarks about making Canada the 51st state. In response, Trudeau imposed retaliatory 25% tariffs on U.S. goods, targeting dairy from Wisconsin, oranges from Florida, and bourbon from Kentucky. On February 3, 2025, Trudeau urged Canadians to support local products and reconsider travel to the U.S. There are many ways to do your part, he stated. Choose Canadian-made products, opt for Canadian rye over Kentucky bourbon, and explore our national parks instead of U.S. theme parks. This message ignited a massive shift in public sentiment, leading to a surge in Canadian patriotism and a widespread boycott of U.S. travel and goods. Canadians take action. Social media has been flooded with stories of Canadians canceling U.S. trips. A narrative research poll in the Maritime provinces found that 62% of respondents plan to travel less to the U.S. in 2025, up from 37% just months earlier. Reasons cited included dissatisfaction with Trump, 54%, safety concerns, 35%, and a desire to financially boycott U.S. goods, 35%. Flight Centre, Canada's largest travel agency, reported a significant rise in cancellations. Canadians are taking a stand in solidarity, said spokesperson Amra Dakovich. They're showing the U.S. where they'll spend their tourism dollars. Even the cruise industry is feeling the effects. One Canadian traveler canceled an Alaska cruise, stating, "We won't forget, Canada strong." Another scrapped a planned trip to Disneyland and Universal Studios in favor of a road trip to Mexico. Economic fallout for the U.S. The top 5 most visited U.S. states by Canadians, Florida, California, Nevada, New York, and Texas, are bracing for economic losses. In Florida, Canadians made up 38% of foreign tourists in 2023. A 10% decline in Canadian travel could result in 2 million fewer visits, $2.1 billion in lost spending, and 14,000 job losses. In Bar Harbor, Maine, linked to Nova Scotia by ferry, officials fear economic devastation. "It makes me sad," said Val Peacock, chair of the Municipal Council. "We don't know the long-term consequences." Texas, which saw $43.3 million in Canadian travel spending in 2023, also faces major disruptions. Airlines and travel agencies are adapting. Porter Airlines noted shifts in demand, but an increase in domestic bookings. WestJet is reviewing potential impacts, while Air Canada is monitoring the situation. A shift in North American tourism. As Canadians boycott U.S. travel, domestic tourism is surging. Popular destinations include Canada's East Coast, Mexico, Portugal, and Antigua. "We're seeing more bookings for bucket list experiences abroad," Dakovich explained. "For some, the boycott is about more than money. It's about principles." Ottawa artist Jordan Danger canceled her U.S. trip, calling it a stand for Canadian values. High school teacher Jason Dale scrapped a year-long planned family vacation to Tennessee. The rhetoric, the mockery of our Prime Minister, and the idea of Canada becoming the 51st state, that did it for us, he said. Tour operators are feeling the shift. Christine Gear, founder of Maple Leaf Tours in Ontario, reported a 30% drop in U.S. trip bookings. Tariffs impact beyond tourism. The economic impact of Trump's tariffs extends beyond tourism. Prices for U.S. goods in Canada are rising, as are costs for American consumers. Tariffs on Mexican goods will drive up food prices in the U.S. Mexico supplies 20% of fresh fruits and vegetables, as well as tequila and beer. Auto prices are set to increase by $3,000 per vehicle due to tariffs on Canadian and Mexican parts. Home construction will also be affected, as Canada supplies 30% of lumber used in U.S. home building. Steel and aluminum tariffs are driving up prices for replacement parts, further straining the economy. Wall Street is reacting with volatility, while consumers brace for inflation.